I have a friend who likes to use the phrase unintended consequences. And I think there are going to be some unintended consequences as a result of the coronavirus. And if you can identify those unintended consequences, you're going to be way ahead in the field of investing. Some of the unintended consequences I've been reading about in the Wall Street Journal, and that is how a lot of the tech startup companies are actually laying people off and actually filing bankruptcy and walking away from their ventures. And this is putting a lot of talent, very supreme talent, out on the market, and they are being hired by the giants, the big nine. And so the unintended consequence is the powers of the tech world are going to become more powerful. They are going to get the most talent as a result of the failures of the smaller, more dramatic companies. So we are seeing things like Amazon is hiring more and more, not only warehouse people and distribution center people, but more talent, because they're recognizing the changes that are going to happen in specifically the healthcare field as a result of this crisis. Unintended consequence, Amazon, in the midst of this economic disaster, has hit an all-time new high, up dramatically from its low of 1,400, its brief stop at 1,600, now up to $2,300 a share. An unintended consequence. But again, if you had stayed focused and recognized that the world is moving towards technology, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, you would recognize that this had to happen. Now, again, another unintended consequence is the fact that Google and Apple are coming together to form a tracking system to help the healthcare system bring this virus under control. 80% of the phones of the world are either Apple or Android systems. So this program, this app that they're developing, Apple and Google together, is going to be a volunteer app that when you are tested, that you notify the app that you have been tested and you either do or you don't have the virus. That will then trigger through your Bluetooth, sending out a signal to those people that you come in contact with, that if you do have the virus, that they become aware. It also then gives the ability for the phone to alert you that in the past you came in contact with someone who had the virus. This is going to be a voluntary thing initially, but I think it is practical to believe that if we're going to protect ourselves from this sort of thing in the future, it's going to have to become a mandatory part of our life. I have done videos, and I am now even more committed to the fact that we are going to have a smart bathroom in the future. We are going to basically be tested every morning for our degree of health, for our whether we have a communicable virus, whether we have a disease, whatever. I look at my life. My grandfather died of cancer. His daughter, my mother, died of cancer. My father died of cancer. My daughter died of cancer. So would it not be within the realm of probability that I will die of cancer? Would it be in the realm of probability that my grandchildren would die of cancer? Would it be to my advantage if my doctor's notes, my 23andMe analysis was fit somewhere in a cloud, and when I had a urinary tract infection last month, that became knowledge in the cloud, and that my history of cancer, my genetics, the fact that I have had no real problems medically could be compared to that of millions, if not billions, of other people in the world. And then when they went down a path and something happened to me, it could be matched through artificial intelligence, and I could be notified on my phone. Does that make sense? Am I afraid to give that information up because of a violation of my privacy? What do I have of more value than my life as opposed to my privacy? Do I want the technological advantages of quantum computing, of matching my experiences against those of those in the other world? Do I want that, or do I just want to keep going it alone? I don't know. It just seems to me that we have the ability to control. I grew up in Champaign, Illinois, and I had an uncle who was a farmer, and he taught me about culling the herd. When part of the herd got sick, you separated it from the rest of the herd so that you didn't destroy your whole herd. You actually put animals down. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what has to happen or should happen to the human race, but I am suggesting that if we have the ability to follow patterns and predict outcomes, why don't we do it? Why don't we embrace it? As an investor, you need to know that some of this level of this is going to happen. And as a result of the virus and its unintended consequences, Apple, Google, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, and Facebook are going to grow from this. I got a letter from Ben, an email from Ben from England, a young investor, this morning, and he talked to me about the things that he's gotten involved in, how he's been trying to catch the falling knife, and he's listening to forums and people saying, oh, this is, and it's all a bunch of shit. It isn't that difficult, folks. The future lies with these 6 companies, and 3 of them in China. I will not invest in those in China because China scares the living bejesus out of me. But I know that these companies are going to change the way I live. And what's happening with Amazon in the height of this fear, and they're hitting new highs, just proves to me you don't want to be buying mutual funds. You don't want to be buying ETFs. You don't want to be buying the next big thing. Tesla, yeah, going crazy. And it may be what you think it is, Homer. I hope for you it is, but I'm not going to be a part of it because I'm going to bet on the people who are going to change the way I live. Now, Tesla may be that, but I think they'll be replaced by BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. All they got to do is put the battery in their car and they're there. So, my commitment is there are unintended consequences of this virus, and they are that you need to invest in the people who are going to change the way you live.